Tune in, tune in, tune in, tune in. This week in car audio. Tune in, tune in, tune in. What we talking about, bass? I'm talking about chips. Talking about rings. You ain't got them, zip your lip. You got a problem you haven't found, check your grounds. The show about to start. Tune in, 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 tune in. This week in car audio. Yeah. Tune in. This week in car audio.
Welcome to This Week in Car Audio with your host, Doug Stockton, co-host, internet sensation, and movie star, Jeffrey Fernandez. What's up, Jeff?
What's going on?
Nothing much. I am gonna edit my post right now. For some reason, it says Jeffrey. Some
Runs
ago.
for customs or something, right?
Yeah, but it should say this. Did you have your show this weekend?
Yeah.
So tell us about your show while I'm taking care of this.
We actually had to move it from Saturday to Sunday because of the weather. Like, man, this Texas weather, I don't know. Like when I moved out here, I wasn't expecting all these ice storms and, freezing weather and sleet and snow. So we had to move it from Saturday to Sunday, which kind of hurt attendance a little bit, but it wasn't too bad. We still had, the diehards still come out. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, a lot of good competition. I don't know if we can go over it all, all right now, but yeah, just a lot of action. That base race, man, these guys are getting good.
They are, huh?
Yeah, we're seeing ties. We're seeing perfect 129.9s.
There we go. That's a great thing. Yeah, something's up with my thing. I'm gonna have to log out, log back in for the next time we stream, because something's not showing up right on my YouTube side, so I can't see the chat on YouTube. Actually, you know what? I am gonna go to the YouTube here, and I'm gonna open up that chat, just so I could see the people that are.
Chat. There we go.
There we go. Yeah, it says there's 2 people watching on there, and I'm not seeing them on my Facebook. So, anyway, all right. Also, so our guest this week is Chris Kyle, Mr. 15 Hertz. How's it going, Chris?
I'm doing okay. How are you guys?
We's good, son. We's good. So now you were suggested to us by Andy Tusher. Mr. 15 Hertz. Oops. How's it going, Chris? Can you guys hear that?
Okay, how are you guys?
No. You were suggested. There we go. That was a little loud. Can you guys hear that?
Okay, how are you guys?
There we go. I had to delete it. Oh, there we go. Now I can see the YouTube, or I can see everybody's chat. Awesome. All right. So, Chris, tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you do, all that stuff.
Yeah, just a car audio bass head guy. Got into it probably 3 or 4 years ago, and I got really big into it like right away. So I never really was big into competing too much, but the demos and the lows and the low frequency stuff always caught my attention. So that's what I build for.
Okay.
So I do some Cyclone stuff, some runs here and there, but mostly I go to demo and have fun.
All right. Do you have any of the scores from your Cyclone runs?
Offhand, the last run I did, I was like 158 something at 20 hertz.
Wow.
Oh, that's a great number.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. We lost an amp on that run, but yeah. So I think if I run it again this year, I'm aiming for a high 59 for a minute. So
okay.
Yeah, that full minute. I mean, not a lot of people can hang with that full minute.
Yeah, the subwoofers are fine. I mean, they're great subs. I got Jones Subwoofer Solutions 600 ounce 21s, and they just never get hot. So the only problem I have is the amps getting hot. But I think we've solved that. So I think we're good. I don't know. we'll see how it goes this year.
How'd you solve it? What's the
Um,
answer?
What's the secret?
um,
How do
we
you
had
keep them cool?
well, they're tear amps, so they don't get too hot. I mean, that's kind of a conundrum. Like people say, tar amps run hot, but I don't run them at a low impedance, so I'm only wired at like 0.67, so it's not crazy for a bass 30K.
Okay.
And they stay pretty cool. And I had some issues that run. I had my back two subs were wired dual, they were reconed dual 2 instead of dual 1, so they were like a. So I have 3 subs per amp, and it was throwing the amps off, and they were like not liking it. So we got those fixed. Everything's dual 1. Everything's happy now, and it's much louder. So we should be in the 59s. I think pretty solid.
Okay.
Cool.
So Anthony Willis says, "What's up, Chris?" We got Dave Bradshaw checking in over here. We got Manny. We got SQ Sounds. They're from Bridgetown, Barbados. They chime in, watch every week. They're trying to get some stuff going out there in Bridgetown. They're going to bring in the Barbadian area. They're going to try and bring DB Drag out there, and I believe they're really interested in stuff like the Cyclone, the Top Dog, and the Bass Race. DB Drag is cool, but it's what's the most entertaining to people spectating and whatnot is usually, as Jeffrey mentioned, Bass Race, Top Dog, Cyclone. Cyclone's awesome. You open your driver door and play as loud as you can, as low as you can. I mean, is that not a demo guy's dream?
Yeah, we just need bonus points to go lower frequencies this year.
Below 20 hertz?
Yeah.
We actually discussed that a little bit, and we haven't came to it. I mean, we obviously didn't decide to do it, but that you're not the only one who's asked to go below.
Right.
How low do you want to go?
I mean, so like on a burp, like at 20 hertz, I can do like a 62 something, 63.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like at 15 hertz, I can do like a 59 or 60. So it might be. I haven't tried a minute for 15 hertz straight, but if I could hold like 57 or 58 at 15 for a minute straight.
So
probably...
is that why they call you Mr. 15 hertz?
Yeah. So when I originally built it, it was stock cabin, and I burped like on the 312Ks before. I was only clamping like not much power, and I did a 58 something at 15 hertz, and that just kind of it just kind of caught on, and I was doing like a 50. 55 at like 10. So, I mean, it's just kind of, my friend called me that, and it was like, cool, let's run with it.
Kind of stuck, huh?
It just stuck, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how good nicknames are come up with.
Yeah. Some friend calls you, and it just sticks, right?
Right.
So back in the days, I don't know, 2002, 2003, I was building a 56 Catalina. This is before people were doing fourth orders and stuff like that. So I was actually working on a ported horn inside the vehicle. That car had, I mean, it's the same size as a Cadillac, right? So imagine a 58 Cadillac. So it's, I mean, just a monster vehicle, right? Yeah, the first time I burped it, my peak was 19 hertz. I said, whoa, I think I need to change my volumes.
Yeah. Nobody heard of that back then,
Yeah, no, it was totally unique. And I was doing like a 149, but I was only running 3,000 watts total power, right, on 212s. Just because I was playing with it, trying to fine tune it, and then after that, then I was going to build it, right? So I was just trying to tune it and figure out what I want to do. And every time I changed the tuning and I gained one frequency, so I would gain like 1 to 1.5 dB. I peaked it out at, I think I was running around like 2,900 watts is what I calculated, with some amp meters and, all that stuff back in the day. But I think I maxed it out at like a 156 at just under 3,000 watts. So not too bad. I mean, especially for that time frame, right? So, because that was the baddest amps out there. I had a couple of 1,500 watts running. I think I had 612s. You know?
I competed in 2001 and 2002.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what did you compete in then?
Back then, I think it was T.W.I.C.A. in
Okay.
Houston. So, and we were doing, I had 215s. I was all MA Audio, sponsored by MA Audio back then.
Mm-hmm.
And I had the 2,500 watt hardcore amp and 215s. I was doing a 53.1. So
Okay.
and it was on a Honda Accord, nothing
Walled
crazy.
off.
No, it was in the trunk.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn good
So,
good number. That was on the stick mics, right?
yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't, probably like a 46 or 47,
Yeah,
maybe.
usually about 7 dB difference
Yeah.
between the stick mics and the current ones. But
Yeah.
you also have to understand the time frame and the knowledge people had back then versus the amount
Yeah.
of knowledge we have now is just astronomical difference.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, it was a sealed box too. So I had a lot of, I didn't know back then, like how to build a ported box or
Right.
like a fourth order or sixth order or anything. Like, so it's just like build this sealed box, and it was loud, and we were like, let's go to shows. Let's have fun.
Yep.
And, so we
Okay.
did.
All right, so I kind of teased this whole thing with we're going to talk about box design and whatnot. Um, what are you willing to share with us in box design, or mistakes you see people make, or because your whole thing is windy and let's do demos, let's do hair tricks,
Mhm.
let's blow people's clothes off if we can, right?
I've done that too. Yeah.
See,
It's
so
on my TikTok if you want to see it.
all right,
Oh, I see it.
Jeffrey wants to see it.
Yeah, I can show you.
So
For
tell
the
us,
viewers.
yeah, Jeffrey will endure the viewership of it and let us
Mhm.
know how it worked out.
I'll report back.
Okay, so tell us, like I said, some of the um, issues, mistakes, or whatever you see people making when they're building these wind machines.
Typically, uh, people put a lot of cone area, which is great, but their port area is the main factor. Like they're usually way off on port area, and they're way off on rear chamber size, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And I say in my opinion because I only design sixth orders. That's all I do. I specialize in sixth orders. And in my opinion, I say that because there's other sixth order designers that design differently than I do, and they still get pretty good results. So I'm not saying the way I do it is the only way to do it, but the way I do it has given me success and is consistent. So I do very small rear ports, probably smaller than you would guess if you had to guess at rear port size. And that's why I think that I get a lot of cone control. I can play 10 hertz full tilt door open. I don't have to seal a side up or anything. It's just I don't lose cone control at all. And I think that comes from having a smaller rear port and smaller rear chambers,
Yes.
but at the cost of efficiency, right? So,
Correct.
I think that if I was going for numbers specifically, I wouldn't really design this way, but for demos, it's great, so.
Okay. So when I was designing boxes and building boxes DB drag style, the big thing was your cone area versus your port area had to be fairly comparable, right? So you're saying you might do 30% of your cone area or something like that?
I actually don't even calculate it off cone area. I do it off a rear cubic space, like the rear volume. So like when I design a sixth order, I design rear chamber volume first. Then I design the rear port based on that volume and tuning to where I want to tune it, and then go from there. But yeah, so I don't really let cone area come into play too often. Like it's not a big deal for me. Like my 621s is like what 2,070 something square inches of cone area. It's quite a bit of cone area, and I have just around 6 square inches of port per cube. So, and that's on the high end of what I would design. So,
Really?
yeah.
So you're really so you're using the smaller ported chamber part versus your big ported chamber in the front. So your smaller ported chamber, that's your cone control, your cooling, that kind of stuff, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
So I typically have like some numbers I like to hit when I'm designing. Like I want these numbers to be in a certain range. And if I hit those ranges and I hit the tunings that I want, it tends to work out pretty well.
Do you like to
So,
share those, or is that kind of a trade secret for you? Either way.
I mean, we could talk a little bit about it. I mean, I've done I just did a 218 sixth order in a Honda Civic,
Mm-hmm.
like a two door or a four door, I think it is. I don't know. The guy, it's in California. You might have seen it. It's Julio's.
Team Send It Julio.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a windshield.
Yeah, I know.
It's duct tape or something, right?
Yes, it
Yeah.
was. You could have saw him on my live podcast from
Oh
this
yeah,
weekend's
I
event.
saw the video.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's a design I did
Okay.
for him, and they're doing great numbers. I mean, I think they've done a 59 in the kick on
Oh, okay.
218s, which is great for 218s.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a smaller report, like I always design. I think it's 5.5 square inches per cube.
Okay.
So, there's people like if I give away, like I say, hey, just do 5.5 square inches per report, like they're gonna be like, okay, I know how to design a sixth and just go at it. But
No.
there's a lot that goes into it, like
Yep.
it's not just rear chamber volume and rear port size. It's sub placement, and it's the orientation, and how much depth you have, and how to develop the wave. And there's certain things that go into sixth order design. It's like that's why people pay me to do it, right? So
Yes,
if
sir.
people could just throw some numbers at it and it would work, it just people wouldn't pay you to do it, So
Absolutely. Yeah, I started with six order. I personally expanded into ported horns. I was
Mhm.
doing horns, rear loaded horns and stuff like that, where you're trying to couple the front of this driver with the wave coming out of the port and
right.
stuff like that. But I'm way past that part of my career now. Now I
Mhm.
just judge shows. I don't design
Yeah.
stuff anymore.
Yeah.
We actually did a show a while ago where I actually brought out my book and I was showing people some of my ported designs that were, because I kept a record of everything I designed and its results,
Right.
just so as a general idea, I can literally hand somebody a piece of paper. Yeah, this one should do about this. Your car is going to vary slightly. You might have to change some stuff up, but in general, this is what this design is meant for.
Right. Yeah. People ask me all the time when they get a design, they're like, what kind of numbers should I expect? And I'm like, I really hate telling you because it's like there's so many variables, right? Like,
Well,
Right.
USAC or DB drag or Mecca, right? One is on
yeah.
the headrest, one's
Sensor
in the
placement.
kick. Yeah.
Yeah.
One's
Or
on the windshield, one's in the middle of the windshield,
it
right?
depends on cabin volume too,
Yep.
and like any cabin work that they've done, or like
Yep.
if their firewall's ripped, who knows what's going on with their car. Like there's a lot of factors that go into play. And I tell you, like, hey, this design should do a 60, at 25 hertz. Like that's just nobody should be able to tell people that. Like there's too much going on. Like it's just like I guarantee it'll perform.
Yep.
And what the numbers come second. So
Mhm.
I don't think anyone comes to me for a design like wanting to win finals at DB drag, like
Okay.
unless they're going a cyclone.
Mhm.
Then they come to me. Like you might know Adrian's build from California too.
He actually texted me and said, "Wait till you." No, actually, he showed up at the show and said,
Mhm.
"Wait till you see my build. It's coming next year."
Yeah, I'm
So,
doing his design too. Yeah, the next
yeah.
one. But I did the one before too, the 618 last year's.
So to be honest with you, I know you haven't seen our show before, but me as a judge, I
Yeah.
try not to remember anybody's anything
Mhm.
because that way, when I do look inside their vehicle, I'm hopefully looking with fresh eyes, right?
Right.
I don't remember. I could tell you that Julio, I call him Julio over here.
Mhm.
I know he's got a wall. I couldn't tell
Yeah.
you if he has 10 speakers in that wall, 4 or 3 or 1.
Mhm.
I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you how many amps he has. I couldn't tell you even what brand he runs. I know he has Team Send It sticker on his windshield. I mean, him and the other 70 people at the show are all Team Send It anyway, right?
Right. Yeah.
So,
That's California. Yeah.
so anyway, with just like I said, other than that, I couldn't tell you anything about Julio's build. And for that reason, if somebody were to call me and say, "Hey, you've been judging this guy's build. What's he doing?" Dude, there's no way I could tell you, and I wouldn't have to lie to you because I don't pay that attention, right? I'm looking everything in front of the B pillar for DB drag, right?
Right.
Everything in front of the B pillar is everything where it needs to be. How many conductors do they have to have in certain classes? Um, other than that, most of it is almost nothing. I don't pay much attention to their vehicles because it's none of my business and I
Right.
don't need to know. So, um, so speaking of which, you told me in the backstage that you go to the Sky High. Are there any other shows that you always attend, or
Yeah, we attend Showdown in Vegas.
okay, CES
Yeah,
Showdown, but they're doing it, calling it something else now.
it's just Showdown now, and I think we did it with SEMA
Showdown.
this
Yeah,
year. Yeah,
it
Yeah.
changed to SEMA. Yeah.
yeah. So we won. I've won best demo 2 years running now. So
Okay.
Oh.
um, that was like what I built the Suburban for the first year. It was like to go to CES Showdown and win best demo, and we did that. And then we were like, COVID canceled the one after that, and then
Right.
2020, then we went to 2021. But we won again, which was like I don't think anybody's ever done it twice. So it's really that was my goal for the truck, and it did it, and it made me really happy. And so we got plans for the truck, to maybe we can fit 821s. We'll see.
So you got SEMA Showdown, Sky High. Do you attend
Yeah.
that every year?
Sky High has been for the last few years. Yeah, we've
Okay.
gone to every one of them, and then we go to a lot of Idaho shows. Um,
Okay.
we go to all the Utah shows, and then sometimes we're down in Arizona, um, and then some in Colorado. But yeah,
So you attend the Boomin' Audio shows with
yeah,
Andy Tusher, right?
Mm-hmm.
The
yep,
other half of
all,
Boomin'.
yep,
Yeah.
yep. He always has good shows, so got to go to those.
No, awesome. That's great. We like on this show, we like to encourage people to attend the shows, even if at first they are just coming to watch. Come get some demos, come
Mhm.
and meet some of these people. You find out that most of these guys are super helpful,
Right.
um, and they want you to be there. They're there to show off their vehicles. They're there to help you, and people once they get out there. So I had two new people helping me this week in the at the show. I had a new person running the computer for me, and I had a new person helping me place uh, the
Like,
clamps.
Sensors
yeah.
Yeah,
or clamps.
yeah. I had somebody help me do the clamps, and both of them, I says, I know you guys have expectations of what this is, blah blah blah, and I always ask them at the end. So is that what you thought it was? And every single time, no, it was actually pretty cool. And what they see that's cool about it is guys like Chris and other competitors, Julio and them. They have so much pride in what they're doing, and while they're there, I mean, there's no bad, there's no ill feelings really at those shows, and it's more of look what I did, and everybody's going, dude, that's awesome what you did, even if you have like two tens in your trunk. Hey, that's a great start. Let's get you into one of the, and then after a couple of years, they turn into what's behind Chris right there.
Yep, yep. Like
So
I went to my first show in Utah with a single 12 on a JL 1000, and did street stock 1000 class,
Mm-hmm.
and within a year I had this built, so um, I'm a little crazy, and I have an addictive personality. So if I'm into something, I'm into it all the way. So
Yes, sir.
but
Actually, the world record holder for demo Cyclone is in the chat right now. Jose Ramos. He
yep,
has the wall class and the no wall class. Him and his dad.
yep.
So, what's up?
Jose and I went back and forth. Was it a year ago or 2 years ago? He had the record, and then I beat his record, and then he took it back.
Oh, okay.
And then I haven't posted a number since, but yeah, I think Jose's build is awesome, and I love his build, and he's always pushing me to push mine a little bit further. So yeah,
Yep. Jose just said he started off with some eights.
yeah.
Hey, we all start somewhere, right? What did
we
you
all gotta
start with?
start somewhere.
Where did you start with, Jeff?
Oh man, I think I had like 4 JLs and a false floor in my little 93 Toyota Corolla, which I actually took to finals for my first year. And dude, I got 13th place at finals. At first,
Out of
when
15.
yeah, I think it was out of 15. But when I first qualified, it was like, It was like seventh. And then as people were qualifying, it kept dropping and dropping and dropping. And I was like, hey, but yeah, you're right. Everybody got to start off somewhere, you know?
Mm-hmm. Jose Ramos hitting the chat. He goes, he can take it right now. I won't be able to be back in the lanes for a while.
Oh,
He was at the show this weekend, and yeah, he's one car's broken and the other
mm,
car is torn down. So he doesn't have anything he can bring out. I had the new lady helping me on the computer, and because of that, she's female and it's her first show. Obviously, we have to do a hair trick, right? So I was hoping Jose would show up and be able to do a cool hair trick with her. We ended up getting Jeff Schultz, who's actually part of he's part of Team Send It. Obviously, everybody is. Um, I kept making reference to that a couple of times at the show. Dave didn't even compete, but no, it was awesome. So she did it. She was like, "That was actually really cool," and that's why we build our systems because girls think they're really cool, huh?
Yeah, not really.
Not really, especially wives and girlfriends.
No, my wife's never gotten into Suburban, not once.
Not even once.
No, she won't even do a hair trick. Like she hates it.
She just hates it, huh?
No, it's just yeah, just a waste of time and money, really, for
Yeah.
her.
So does she make you, or do you have to send your brand new stereo stuff that you buy? Have to send it to work instead of showing up at your house?
I
Uh,
used to do that.
I don't really buy anything, so
Oh, okay.
that's why Jones Silverfer Solutions. That's my local shop here, and they take care of me.
Oh,
So yeah,
that that is
so
super helpful.
yeah, they've been really good. They provide pretty much everything, and I go out with them and demo for them and promote the brand as much as I can. And
I think everybody starts with, buying your own stuff. And then,
Mhm.
once you start getting noticed, you start doing all the shows, you get people sponsoring you. Like my last few years, I never owned a subwoofer, never owned an amplifier, either they were on loan or I, would borrow them from the companies and,
mhm, yeah,
Yep. But the
so
key
those
is,
are you.
you were
Uh-huh.
right, Jeffrey. You did not own those, so you couldn't sell those, which is a big
Right.
problem, and that's
Right.
part of the reason we don't
Exactly.
get as much sponsorship from
Sponsorships, right?
manufacturers anymore. Is because not you obviously, but other people would take that stuff on loan or giving it at for demo purposes,
Hmm.
and next thing you know, you find it on eBay or something.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of makes sense too. You buy a product, and then
Hmm.
maybe 2, 3 years down the line, it becomes obsolete. So it
Yep.
kind of makes sense to not really own the equipment. And a lot of these companies, maybe if you approach them in a way where, hey, I want to use your equipment. At the end of the year, I can give them back to you or whatever you want to do with them. You can let me have them if you want.
Yep.
Then they'll be more inclined to. I mean, from my past experiences.
Yep.
So.
So if you guys that are watching or listening to this back on the podcast, you want to go back listen to the Send Down with Jacob Fuller, and also listen to the one with Nick Wright with Incriminator, and we actually talked about sponsorships and how to go about getting one. Ultimately, as a business, it's what can you do for my business. And if you
Yeah.
don't have anything to offer them other than saying, well, I'm building the best thing that's ever, if you don't have something to back up that you're saying that, hey, I'm going to build this, your word doesn't mean anything until you've proven yourself. I mean, like Chris here, tell us
Yeah.
about your YouTube channel and your Twitter and all that stuff, Chris.
I don't have a Twitter. I do TikTok and
That's the
YouTube.
same. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So TikTok and YouTube is mainly my two social medias. Facebook as well, but post my videos on TikTok a lot, and Mr. 15 Hertz if you want to go follow me on either one of those.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't have a lot of subscribers on YouTube. I got more on TikTok, so I end up posting more on there. So
Okay. So what kind of subscribers do you have on TikTok and
I'm only 5,700 or so.
5,700? That's not too bad. Um,
Yeah,
but But the thing is for your sponsor, we'll call them right for lack of a
yeah,
better term. So your local shop, whatever that helps you with this. The cool thing is is you come and you demo that product for them.
Right.
And they didn't have to spend the time to build that demo vehicle.
Well, they did build it
Oh, did
with me.
they?
I built it with them, yeah, at the
Yeah.
shop. But yeah, they did have hands on it, yeah. And so a lot of the work is done by those guys at JSS as well. So I do. I probably had half the work on the like the steel cage and like the enclosure and the sanding and all that stuff, but they do all the finishing work, like the amplifier
Yep.
installs and the wiring and the all that to make it look pretty. It
Yep.
doesn't really look in the pictures because I haven't cleaned it, but it looks really nice in person and it performs like a beast. So those guys do really good work over there. So
All right. No, that's cool. And where are they located at?
they're in Sunset, Utah,
Sunset, Utah.
just north of Salt Lake.
Okay. So that's, I mean, so you do the box design, the box build, and then they do the pretty stuff.
Yeah, they'll do a lot of the they do the fab work.
Okay.
So I do a lot of them. So I'm a metalworking guy myself. So I do a lot of the metal work, like welding, and I'm doing a Tahoe right now that's all steel. So the enclosure's steel cage with steel sheet wall, steel dash, steel roof, steel floor, steel doors.
Wow.
It's all steel, and that's in the works right now.
So will it reverberate too much with just the steel, or do you have to line it with wood too, or?
The baffle will be steel with one layer of wood. So that's
Okay.
supposed to like help the tinginess, the
Right.
pinginess of the metal. And I got that from Nathan Milliard. I don't know if you know him, Nathan.
No, sir.
DD Tank. He told me that he had an all steel, and he said it just had a weird tone.
Yes.
So I took his advice, and we're going to do a layer of wood in the baffle. That's the only wood that'll be in the whole vehicle, though. So
Okay. So it's
we're
going to be
hoping
your
for
specialty.
yeah, we're hoping for like a 165, 66 at 20.
What are you building it for? Anything specific for a class, for an organization, or anything?
No, it's all demos.
Okay.
Like
And-
the side wall of the enclosure, the steel wall
Uh-huh.
goes to the roof and it goes all the way to the A pillar, like to the windshield. So there's no passenger door like opening.
Okay.
It's just a steel wall the whole way. So it's not really legal in anything. So
Yep. No, that would be not legal in DV drag for even extreme class because you got to have functioning doors.
Yeah, so like mine, I've learned from my build that like I had doors bolted shut.
Yep.
And so I broke all the bolts and I ended up fixing the door constantly. And I'm tired of doing that. So I was like, let's just bypass the door.
Yeah.
And not have to worry about it.
And my guess is the bolts that you broke were on the passenger side of the
Yes,
door.
yeah. That's where we keep it sealed. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then so I re-welded it all and I bolted it back shut for Showdown this year. And then I welded the door shut from the outside. And it broke the bolts again and the welds. I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like it's just, I don't know. Maybe I need twice as many bolts. I don't know. So we'll see.
You might want to talk to Alan Dante. He's a specialist in making passenger doors that don't break.
Yeah, I've steel caged it inside and I put 16-pound foam in it and bolted it shut and it just doesn't like life.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when you're doing high 50s at like,
yeah,
13 hertz, that door is just.
Well, he's doing 85.
Yeah.
So
I know Alan's crazy.
Yeah, and he actually pressurizes it to that door.
Yeah.
So it might be a guy to reach out to and talk to him about how he does his door, right? That's part of what we do in this car audio community is, hey, we reach out to people and maybe they've had the same problem and hopefully we can help them, help fix what the issue is. They're in general, most of the guys are pretty damn helpful.
Yeah, I haven't talked to Alan personally, but I know that Jason, the owner of Jones Software Solutions, has, and we've tried some of his amplifiers that he uses as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so we were talking to him a little bit last year. So.
Lucky McGovern, my ex-host, he says I know all about ripping welds. So he was big into demos. I don't know if you know Lucky.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and he kept ripping his roof. Right. On his Tahoes. I mean, just destroyed those things.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's not as loud, and go up on the roof, and there'd be a freaking, he'd hit the bass and just
Yeah.
separate.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now he all knows about that. His back door, his back hatch. I mean, countless times did he, reinforce that back hatch
Right.
from shredding.
That's why I don't build no walls anymore. They just break everything. So
They are breakers.
yeah,
You got
just
to
gotta.
reinforce everything.
Yeah, I like the B pillar walls because you only have to fix the cabin in front. That's it. So
Yep. My car, actually, I have a 74 Trans Am. It got picked up on Friday, and that one's going to be a full trunk build. Um, I got 2,000 watts going in it, 210s, and I'm pretty decent at telling what the number is going to be just because I can do the math. And I mean, it's nothing going to be spectacular, but it should peak around 31 hertz at like a 147 out of the trunk of a 1974 Trans Am. I'm totally good with that.
yeah, anything in the high 40s is loud, man. That's for daily too. It's like
Yeah, well,
crazy.
that car's not exactly daily. It's got 480 horses to the wheels,
Yeah.
and it almost gets a couple of gallons to the mile.
Yeah. Yeah, that was like my first year at Sky High. I went with my Volt, my Chevrolet Volt. And I had it B pillar wall with 215s and a sixth order, and everybody was like, "It's crazy you got a wall in an electric car." Like, so
Well, you have to protect the batteries, right? Somehow.
Yeah.
yeah, so that was a fun build. I mean, we were doing, I think, did like 53 something at 17 hertz. So
There you go.
on 215s, it was doing pretty good.
So,
go ahead.
oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Jeffrey.
Oh, well, speaking of cars, I mean, what would be your dream car to work on to put a big system in?
I want
You want like what are those bank cars?
Armored vehicle,
Armored vehicle. You want something like that?
like
to
the old Boss
put a
Audio
system in?
one.
Yeah.
So I have a couple of like bucket list builds I want to do.
Oh, okay. There you go.
I have one I want to do a Crown Vic.
Hey, we
and
have a lot of Crown Vic fans out here.
Yeah.
I will tell you that.
And the reason I want to do it is because I want to put 915s in a sixth order, and people are like, "That's impossible in a Crown Vic." And I just want to show them that I can do it. And that one I want to do, and then I would like to do I've kind of been looking at like buses, like short buses, like passenger
okay.
buses, like
Yeah.
Oh, more like a airport shuttle bus type thing.
yeah, like one of those.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that'd be cool.
Those doors
So,
don't seal very well though.
I
With
don't
the
want
little
it to
double
seal.
doors.
Yeah, I want to
Oh.
leave those open and leave
Oh,
that
okay.
like as the front
Yeah.
port. So yeah, it'd just be windy right out the front. You just come walk by the bus and get your hat blown off, and like that would be fun for me. So
Yeah, I'd
both
like
of
to
those
see
would be
that.
bucket list for me.
Mhm.
But that the bus would be a lot more money, right? So
Yeah.
like, I mean, because the bigger the cabin and the bigger the vehicle, we have to put like a lot more woofers and a lot more power and a lot more everything. So, but I would love to do the 915s on the Crown Vic one day. So.
Well, with that, with the shuttle bus, you can get one of those with the small van front end, and it would limit your cabin space. But with, good Lord, a lot of rear space to do whatever. I mean, you could build a horn back there, not just a six. You can do a sixth order horn, right? With the amount of space that you would have behind that.
Yeah, we'd have to figure out what subwoofers we want to use, and well, we'd always use JSS. I mean, that's just who I use, but what size and how many, and stuff like that. But
yeah, it might be advantageous to go down to 10s or something at that point to to fill the space appropriately.
See, that's another, like when you talked about earlier about people making mistakes. That's one of the mistakes I see a lot is people put like when you have so many subwoofers, you get a lot of cancellation. So that's why like I rather use bigger subwoofers and use less of them. And that's what I get less cancellation that way and a little bit more efficient. So like instead of doing like 50 10s, I'd rather do like 12 18s, you know what I mean, and have the same cone area. But there's something to be said about motor force too, though, and cooling and how many coils you have. So it's like it's a trade-off, right? Like there's like a balance between the two. Like you really got to figure all that out. So
Yep. So I mean, we've talked about this multiple times on here. Also, is Nathan Munson and I, um, we went through and we're trying to prove a point that all these extreme vehicles, they were doing it with a ton of subwoofers, and we brought it down to a single 10-inch subwoofer, and we're trying to hit 170 at the time.
mhm.
Nathan beat me to it, but I mean, it was a proof of the fact that it's these all these extra subwoofers you have are canceling each other out. So
Right,
if you can make that one subwoofer super efficient, it was going to shine just as well as multiples because you don't have to worry about cancellation.
right.
And you can focus the wave and that kind of thing.
Yeah, those extreme vehicles are next level. I've never got into one. Like, I'm not saying I haven't got in one, but I haven't started like looking into how to design one or build one.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that there's guys like Scott Van Ripper, I think his name is. That
Yep.
he
He's
says
one of the
he's
ones I'm talking to still.
yeah, he says he does like a 60 on head unit power. Like
Yeah.
it's just, to me that's nuts. I'm doing a 60. And it takes me like 15,000 watts. But it's just those vehicles are built for that specific purpose, and
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, they got
and
that center console and that little area
yeah, that's
off
some
to the side. So
No.
something I want to learn more about too. Yeah, there's
yeah,
the
yeah.
focusing the wave with the center console, and
Mhm.
Yep.
I haven't got into all that yet. So there's a lot for me to learn still. I learn every day. So
Just a little hint: the width and the height of that center console becomes its own port.
yeah,
Just saying.
I mean, it makes sense because it just carries that wave forward and over. Yeah.
That's
So, I mean,
accurate.
it's like thousands of hours of testing and tuning to get that right. So,
Oh yeah,
so
no doubt, no doubt, no doubt. So if people were to go to your TikTok or your YouTube, what are they looking for? What's the name of it, and what are they going to see mostly on there?
it's Mr. 15 Hertz, and
Still, yep.
that's yeah. You're gonna see basically just a lot of violence. It's things moving, like not the like so the I built the cabin recently. It's all steel now,
Mhm.
so it's it doesn't move, so it made it look less violent, but everything else like on your person moves, like your hat, your shirt, your glasses, all that stuff gets ripped off. um, so it's kind of, there's a lot of videos of people with like hats on that'll get just tossed out the window like 20 feet, or like a girl standing next to the vehicle and their hair gets blown, or their eyelashes, like their fake eyelashes almost get ripped off, stuff like that. So
Do you have any Scoby videos?
I don't actually. He has never gotten in my vehicle.
You got to get a Scoby face video.
Yeah, I'm kind of jealous about all the whenever I see him like Alpha Blazer, or like all
Yeah.
those older videos. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
I did release a video recently of me playing higher frequencies, because people were always like, "Oh, you're Mr. 15, so all you can do is play as lows." And then so people at the last show of Showdown were like, "Hey, give me some highs," and I was like, "Okay." So I played them like 40 hertz, which is my high note, but
Right.
and it only does like a 65 ish at 40 hertz,
Uh-huh.
which is still pretty,
Yeah. Still a
enough.
number.
Yeah, it's still enough to like hurt people. And so I have a video I posted of people tapping out and getting hurt and choking and all that stuff. So I don't know why people like that, but if they get in and they say play a high note, I'll play them a high note. But I didn't build it for that. So
Yeah, that's somebody that doesn't understand nodes and coupling and octaves and all that, because
yeah,
if you're tuned at 20 hertz, you're also tuned at 40 hertz, right?
yeah,
So and that's more of, and what you're tuned to is when the woofers are at their most efficient. That's
right,
all the tuning is. Yeah, for those people that don't know and don't understand, is when you're tuning a box or whatever, you're tuning the box when it plays at whatever frequency you're tuned at, it's going to be at its most efficient.
right,
So not that it's going to be the loudest, not that it's going to be whatever. It's just going to be moving at its most efficient, the most efficient it can move with the power provided and the box provided.
yeah.
So, what else? There was something else I was going to ask you real quick. Oh, so do you go to Surf City?
That's I haven't done that one, and it's been one that I contemplate every year. And I look at and I pull up the maps, and I'm like, man, that's a drive.
Because
Because
you drive yours, right?
well, I don't. I trailer it,
Oh,
but
okay.
it's still like trailering things. It's not that fun, So especially when you're doing like, I don't know, from here to Surf City would be, I don't know, 15
15 hours.
hours. Yeah. It's like, uh, that's just not fun, and I make it the trip, I trailer it to Vegas, which is like 7, and that's like already not fun for me. So I do want to make Slamology this year. I want to try for Slam.
Okay. That's a
I'm
lot longer than 15 hours.
Yeah, so that's going to be something where I'm working with the sponsors to like freight the
Okay.
Suburban out, and I fly out there.
Talk to Gary Killian. He specializes in that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that'd be
and
nice.
and he's definitely I mean he's going to charge you a rate obviously, but
Yeah,
he's usually more realistic or can at least get a realistic rate for moving vehicles. We're also going to talk to Gary Killian about getting a bunch of vehicles from California, which Jeffrey knows pretty well. It's so much easier to pay a transport to have your vehicle taken to World Finals
Yeah.
and then taken back
right.
than you trying to transport it yourself.
Get a group of people that's wanting to go along, and they'll
Mhm.
usually work the price a little bit cheaper.
Yeah,
Per
So
vehicle.
right.
yeah. So we were talking about it last, I think 2019 or 2020, before
Okay.
COVID, and Teramps was actually going to pay for it for
Okay.
me, but then
Nice.
COVID canceled that year Slamology, and then so I'm going to talk to them again this year and see what they want to do for me. If they want to help out again this year, maybe. Um,
Yeah,
I
you
wouldn't
need
be
to get
opposed to paying for my own plane ticket and flying out there and paying for my own hotel and stuff. It's just I don't want to pay, you know, that $3,000 or $4,000 to get the truck there and back.
yeah,
Yeah.
you need to get Jason to cover with that Bitcoin money he got.
Oh yeah, Jason. Yeah,
He can cover that no problem.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. We are running up on just about the hour, and we can still talk about our shows and whatnot. Jeffrey, you want to hit him with our question we ask everybody at the end?
Okay, Chris.
Yes, sir.
So, what is your definition of a bass head?
Um, to me, it's anyone that like finds bass to be therapy. Like
Therapy.
anyone,
Okay.
yeah, it's anyone that like gets in their car and like wants to turn it up really loud and just forget about everything. That's what I see. That's what I did, and that's what I like to do. Get in the car, turn it up really loud, just blow my shirt around and give me goosebumps. Like just um, it's just somebody that that's into it that much. That can't go without it. So
Yeah, connoisseur.
yeah.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Jeffrey, I'm going to talk about my show real quick. So
Sure,
we
sure.
had 22 unique entries into that show. So that put $110, I think, into the West Coast Finale Prize Fund. I think you've actually competed at one where we gave out some cash, right? Were you
Yeah,
as a
I've
judge or
even
a competitor or both?
both. Yeah, I was a competitor first and judging. I thought it was cool too. Maybe the shows that I'm doing SoCal, we can start it up again.
If they want to do that, but we are only going to have one location for it.
Right.
It will be up
Right.
north. We're doing a 5-show minimum requirement, 50 points. Whether they be your shows, my shows, it doesn't matter. But as long as they participate, and you, as the judge, know the rules as far as how that all goes down. But yeah, so we had 22 unique competitors at the event, which was awesome. You guys bring out your friends. As Wayne said before, right? Everybody brings one friend with them to every show. We double every time. We double our participation. We get to share with everybody our love for the car audio world, our love for bass, and we truly are a culture within itself. And we're not just car audio culture. We're car guys. It's it doesn't limit itself just to the stereo inside. We can appreciate somebody that just built a 1956 Chevy, right? We can appreciate because we know the time and the love that went into building that car because we got that same thing in our stereos, and they reciprocate it back to us. Oh, I mean they can totally not be into stereos at all, but they can look and appreciate what you have invested into that personally and emotionally because this is way more than just a financial investment. I mean, I'm sure Chris can attest to
Yeah.
that. I mean,
Look where I got Chris.
yeah. I mean, it's more than just a financial investment. It's so emotional. Um, it it consumes your time. It consumes some of your family time. But as we had on last week, right? Father son, and they turn that into their time when they build cars together. Back in the 70s and the 60s and the 80s, a lot of people that were building stuff back then they were working on their car with their dad underneath the tree, you know, building a muscle car, right? For me, I've done so much car work on vehicles, mechanic wise. I'd never want to work as a mechanic again, but I would never give back that time that I worked with my uncle on that stuff. I'll tell you right now, my uncle's one of the smartest dude, the dumbest, smartest guys I've ever met in the world. Right? He could fix anything with something laying on the ground, auto related. He can. Doesn't matter where you are. He can fix your car and get you home. But then that's how he'll fix stuff if he has money, and that's how he fixes stuff, if he's got time. He always fixes stuff that way. But I learned so much from that guy. It has got me out of so many different scrapes, and I mean, I would never give that time back. And that's what we get with the car audio stuff. Do you have any kids that participate with you, Chris, at all, or?
My daughter, she's almost 18 now, and she's
Okay.
never really kind of got into it. So
Does she come with you to the shows even?
no, but my wife does. She goes to all the shows. So
Okay.
yeah, so my wife and my brother-in-law got into it with me.
Okay.
That's who I'm building a Tahoe for.
All right.
And so his wife and my brother-in-law and my wife, we all go travel to all the shows
Yep.
together. So the four of us, it's pretty fun.
And,
It's a good way to spend time.
and exactly, like, so it's not about at the shows even. I mean, there's that windshield time that you're spending with your wife
Yeah,
and your brother-in-law and sister-in-law. I mean, those are times that you'll remember.
yeah,
And they're very special, and everybody should have those times in their life. And whether you do it through car audio, automotive, or some other thing. For us here, it's the car audio thing. It
yeah,
absolutely 100% is.
yeah. They actually usually go to Showdown with me and stuff, but they didn't.
Cool.
They just said they didn't have the money this year, so they weren't going to go. And then I ended up Saturday. I'm demoing. And I look over and there he is, and he shows up, and I was like super happy, surprised, like because it's like it's not the same without him.
Right.
That's my buddy, So I was really happy that they ended up making it, and so.
Yep. All right. Anything exciting about yours? Hey, we had a bunch of ties. If you guys want to go back and look at my show from this weekend, I have it on Facebook and YouTube. It's a Lunsford Custom Show, and you can look at the DB drag brackets, the base race brackets, or the top dog. I have all the Cyclone runs broke out, so you can see all those runs. Um, so, like I said, I do that with all my events. I do it live, and I leave them up so you guys can go back and look at them. But Jeffrey, anything exciting about your show this weekend, sir?
Um, a lot of really good competition in base race.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like a lot of guys are coming out now that Roger's putting some money up for the winter. But believe it, well, I think we had about four four competitors, 4 or 5 competitors, and all of them did perfect 129.9s going
Oh,
into
there
the
you go.
round. So it just when you start competing, you're doing 29 nines, they're doing 29 nines, and
Yep.
the nerve starts taking over, and then you bust out, and
Mm-hmm.
and that's when it gets fun. And the ties, seeing the ties happen as well. That's a cool thing. So there was actually a girl, well, a
Mm-hmm.
woman, Renee Bay is her name. She was actually supporting uh, her husband, I believe, Julius Mac Johnson III, at all these events that Julius would attend. she just kind of caught the bug herself and she started competing, and it's her first year. And I think last event last month, she took first place in the 29.9. She didn't do too good this past show, but
Right.
just for her to get out there and kind of, represent, from a supporting, I guess, role into, a competitor. That's a cool thing to see.
Yeah, seeing it generational, like we talked last week. I had a new competitor, Ben OJ Stabbins. Uh, I loved his last name, so I nicknamed him OJ. So Mr. Stabbins there. He
No, I just got it.
okay. Anyway, so he won 29.9 base race. He beat the West Coast champion Manny. Lord of
Oh,
Base
sick.
Manny beat Lord of Base Manny for 29.9 base race. Got in top dog, made it all the way to the end, lost the round, got second place in top dog. It
Right.
was him and was it Jeff? No, it wasn't Jeff. It was another Team Sendy guy, obviously, probably. But anyway, it was him and that guy, and whoever won that round ended up winning top dog, $40, and the dog tag and all the other stuff that goes with winning a top dog event. So,
So,
I
but
mean,
he'll be back, right? He
oh,
got
I have
second
a
place, so
feeling he'll be back.
he's gonna be back. He's gonna be back for sure.
Oh yeah, he was. I was actually talking to him about possibly coming on this show and talking about his experience as a first time competitor and coming to a show and what he thought.
Mhm.
But like I said, it's totally awesome when we get those opportunities. As a judge, those are the things that are great for me at those shows. I'm sure the same for you, giving them an
Oh yeah.
opportunity to do it. And then you got Chris down there, and somebody that gets their first hair trick. I mean, those are what you go to the shows for, right, Chris?
Yeah, I mean that's what we do, So I'm trying to. It's not just hair tricks. It's like I like hat tricks,
Right, right,
eyebrow,
right.
eyebrow,
Tricks.
the eyebrow tricks. Go. I tried to
Beard
rip Steve,
beard
dude.
tricks.
Yeah, if you saw Steve Mead's video, he posted on
Oh.
my Suburban. I tried to rip his beard off, So, but yeah.
Oh,
So
I thought you were gonna say Steve Mead's video with the eyeball
Eye
popping
no,
out.
popping out.
yeah,
Maybe, yeah. That's I don't know. I don't know if anybody could beat that.
yeah. Steve Mead got a demo of the Suburban and Sky High, and he made a video of it. So that's what I was
Oh,
talking about. But
nice.
Oh, cool.
yeah, yeah. So that was cool. I mean, and just meeting people,
Yep.
So and then it's just like I had posted a video on TikTok about some kids that got a demo, and they were probably like one was like 8, one was like 12, and another, it was just brothers.
Uh-huh.
And they all got in, and just you could see the middle kid. He was just smiling so big, like he just didn't know this thing existed. And he's like, I just turned that kid into a base head, I think. But so that's what it's about, really, just seeing all
Yeah.
those smiles and people.
And it's funny you say that it has to do with therapy,
Right.
so to speak. For some people, if you do a search on YouTube for Dinosaur Jr., they're a band.
Mhm.
Their whole music video, and they actually came out and filmed some footage at an event I did in San Diego years ago.
We showed that.
I think you've seen it, right?
Yeah.
So I guess the music video was about this guy who's trying to escape life, and he finds speakers and all of that, and it just kind of was therapy for him. So you guys get a chance to check out Dinosaur Jr. on YouTube. I think the name of the song is called "Pierce the Morning Rain." I'll put a link on the comments, but it's exactly
You,
he's
you'll
a
like
bass
that
head.
one, Chris. It,
Yeah,
it
you'd like it.
definitely you'll be able to recognize what's going on there.
Yeah, I'll have
Yes.
to check it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys. I want to thank you for participating in today, Chris. You've been a great guest. I appreciate you talking about what you do, how they do it. How do people get a hold of you? TikTok, Facebook, what email,
Um,
phone calls? What is it?
so if you're trying to get a design, I have a Facebook page, Chris Kyle Designs. Um, just Mr. 15 Hertz on social media if you're just looking for videos. So that's basically it.
Okay. Just real quick, what do the designs run? Is there a price, or are they each one's
Yeah.
individual?
No, that's I only do 6 orders, and I'm a flat rate fee. I'm very expensive. I'm on the I charge a lot because I have I'm a busy guy and I don't want to do a whole lot of designs. So I try to charge enough to where I don't get overloaded with work. So
Gotcha.
I'm at $200 a design right now.
Okay.
But um, if you know, and that's why I set the price high enough to where if people want to go somebody else, that's fine. I don't really care. If you
Right.
want me to do it, you'll pay for it. And that's just what it is. And I don't want to have to do 1,000 designs a month. I want to do 5.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that's
Okay.
just
No, that's awesome. I appreciate it. I mean, at least now people know what they're getting in for if they're looking for you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, um, anyway, Jeffrey, any shows coming up?
I got a show next month. It's going to be at Crossfire headquarters as well. It's going to be March 19th. It's going to be a
Okay.
Saturday. Hopefully, we don't get rained out. But it's going to be, again, Saturday, March 19th. Be on the lookout at dbdragracing.com. Check it out on the calendar. You can also check it out on Boom and Audio Competitions on Facebook. I think we got the event up on Facebook, so make sure to add yourself that you're going. You'll get all the up-to-date information on the event and all the details and such. So
Okay. Chris, where are they going to see you next?
probably at a local show. But
Okay.
they'll definitely see me this year at Sky High, and maybe, I don't know. Sky High just posted a date. I haven't looked at it yet, but yeah, hopefully Sky High and definitely Showdown. So
Okay.
always a showdown.
I think we may be having a multi-point DB drag at Sky High again this year. I think it was pretty successful last year. I
Right.
think John was happy with it and whatnot. So, anyway, my next show will be May 7th in Hollister. Where we'll be in Hollister, doing he said it may be a multi-point event, which is going to help for you to get your 50 points since this last show just started. And remember, it's 50 points in whatever format you want to compete in to get the cash. And whatever class has the most people gets the most money at the end of the year.
but this is for the
West Coast finale.
West Coast finale. Okay.
Yes, sir. So anyway, with all that being said, obviously I got to go take some people's money at bowling again tonight, as I do often. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to be on a bowling podcast. We're going to record it on Friday night. We'll see how that goes. I'll let you guys know next week information.
I see a lot of like drunk bowling.
Yeah, we're going to be not quite talking about drunk bowling.
No.
So we're going to be talking about making money bowling. So
the hustling.
Yeah,
hustling side.
Hopefully I don't. Hopefully I don't get known throughout the bowling world. It's bad enough I'm pretty known around here. So, but anyway, yeah. So that's what I got going on. I appreciate you guys coming on today. Thank you to my co-host, the very famous Jeffrey. Doing his thing. Thanks to Chris Kyle coming on and talking about his box designs, where to get a hold of them, somewhere you can check out his videos. Please check out his videos. If you get a chance, Chris, put a link to him in the chat or something, and that way people can find him on the YouTube or that. Jeffrey, we were supposed to do a giveaway this week, but
yes,
I could not figure out how I can tell if somebody liked it on YouTube.
On YouTube.
Yes. So we got to make it. So we'll carry it over to next week. They have to comment on YouTube.
Comments. Okay.
So they got to comment on YouTube on this or last week's video. Either one, you comment, and that'll give you an entry to win a T-shirt and lanyard from Crossfire. And we will do that next week since I can see comments. So, all right. All right, guys, once again, thank you for coming in. As we always say, as Lucky used to tell me, no $100 is too small. If you'd like to support us in the channel, you can send it to Venmo at SonicFX, Cash App, $SonicFX. Make sure you put it as tip or podcast or something like that, and I share that 100% with Mr. Jeffrey over there. So if you guys want to help support the channel, that's how you do that. This stuff isn't free, and our time, it takes us a long time to set this stuff up. As Jeffrey's been helping me trying to find guests the last couple weeks, starting to see it doesn't just magically happen. We appreciate Chris Kyle for coming on so late in the game. We really appreciate you, sir. But once again, you can catch us on all social media platforms. Sonic FX on Facebook, This Week in Car Audio on YouTube, and anywhere you can get a podcast download, you can always go there and listen to it there. If I'm missing something, let me know. I will get it on there. All right, guys, once again, have a great night, and we will see you guys next week, 6 o'clock, California time. As I told Mr. Stefan in Canada, the only time that matters. If you don't know what that is, check my Facebook page, and he's got a little thing for you to tell you where it is. But anyway,
Time zones.
that's right, got you some time zones. But 6 o'clock Monday nights, we'll be back again this week in Car Audio. Have a good night, sir. Let's see, outro.